Guys, my name is Jay Trotter, Jamal, but everybody calls me Jay. What I want to do in this video is quickly give you an indication or a sense for what I will do for you if you hire me to build a lead generation or sales generation marketing funnel. So a lead generation marketing funnel essentially is a traffic source. So it may be paid ads from Facebook or Google or LinkedIn or whatever platform is appropriate for your business. And that traffic source either needs to deliver on-platform leads or drive traffic to a landing page for your website. Within that landing page on your website, you need a lead capture form so that either you're getting the on-platform leads or you're getting the leads from your website, but those leads then get synced into either an email marketing system or into a CRM. Once the leads are in an email marketing system or a CRM, you then need them to trigger an automated email sequence or trigger your sales process within your in-house operations. So let me quickly walk you through what a real example of a lead generation funnel that I built for a client is that actually produced 7 figures, over $1 million for this particular client. So you're looking now at an advertisement. So remember, you start with the need for a traffic source. And when I say you start with that, I mean in terms of the way you visualize what a lead generation marketing funnel is. Obviously, it's not the first thing that you build in your funnel, but it is the way you visualize it. It's what's at the top of that funnel. So this is an advertisement. This is one of a series of ads that we created for this client that generated over $1 million for them. And it looks really simple, right? So it's an image-based ad. It's not a video ad. And in this case, it's a single image ad. And you can see down here, if you scroll down, that it got a lot of engagement. So you got 539 likes, 122 comments, and 74 shares on this one ad in the series. And there's a lot happening in this ad. I should probably tell you a little bit about what you're looking at. So you look at it and you might just think in your mind, is it professional or is it not, right? Because if you're a standard consumer, that's the way you will look at advertisements. When I look at ads, as simple as this looks, there are a lot of variables in this ad that contribute to the reason that it's successful. So you may or may not know this. A lot of times when I create an ad for clients, we'll put emojis in, and clients will be like, Jay, is that professional? Should you be doing that? Well, yeah, statistically, content that contains emojis gets higher engagement. So we put emojis in to the script. The text here is very short and to the point, speaks exactly to whatever the message is that the client has in mind, and you can see the entire message without having to click anything. That's also important. You may not notice this particular client's logo. So we designed their cover photo and obviously their image here as well. Their logo looks much better on a white background. So why are we using a bright pink background? Well, because when you run ads, the ads are on a white background. So we want to have things like this image stand out so that when someone's scrolling, they're more likely to actually have their attention grabbed by the color differentiation. The same thing happens when the client is responding to posts. It makes it more visually apparent whenever they make a remark, as opposed to having their logo on a white background, which is traditionally what we would do with this particular client's logo design, but not when we're going to be focusing on paid ads. You'll also notice bright colors, right? So you know that bright colors capture attention. In my experience, dual bright colors actually perform even better than a single solid color background. Now, this is going to vary per client because there are certain industry considerations. But in this case, this client needs to show 2 different genders because they're a foster agency. And so it gives a great opportunity to have a split background color that are both vibrant and that tend to increase engagement. But of course, with the text, we also had to have color contrast there. So we put that on a white background with bright colored font. Very few words, straight to the point. You may or may not know and understand Facebook guidelines. This is a Facebook ad, and Facebook requires that your text cover 20% or less of the entire ad canvas. So you really don't have a lot of room to be wordy. You don't want to do that when you're creating Facebook ads. So that's the reason it's structured like that. Additionally, you scroll down, you see that we have this call to action, learn more. You may or may not know that statistically, the learn more call to action gets the highest level of engagement. Now, it does not get the highest quality of engagement. So you have to understand what you're trying to achieve when you set up an ad campaign. But if you're setting up an early stage ad campaign, if you hire me and I'm doing it for you, then I'm going to want to use variables that get the highest engagement. And there's specific reasons for that. I don't want to get too deep into the woods in terms of Facebook guidelines and policies, but whenever you create an ad on Facebook, and in most platforms, the ad starts in what's called a learning phase. So literally, if you've ever created an ad for Facebook, as soon as your ad gets approved, you notice that it's in the learning phase. What that means is that the artificial intelligence that Facebook uses is trying to understand who best or who is most likely to engage with whatever your offer is or whatever your business represents. And so in the learning phase, that phase lasts 7 days, and you need to get 50 results. The results vary based upon your ad objective. So if your ad objective is website traffic, then you need to get 50 link clicks within 7 days in order to exit the learning phase. If your ad objective is leads, then you need to capture 50 leads within 7 days in order to exit the learning phase, and for the algorithm that Facebook uses to feel that it understands who your target audience is, who's most likely to engage with your content. So when you first start out, or when I'm doing it for you, it is very important that we focus on trying to clear the learning phase. So instead of using something like sign up now or shop now as a call to action, since those are going to have lower engagement levels, you do that downstream and later iterations of your ad. But in your early ads, you definitely want to use, or almost definitely want to use, the learn more objective. So my point is, there's a lot going on in this ad, even though it looks simple, and there are a series of variables that contribute to why this ad was really, really successful. One other tidbit that may be useful to you, if you have someone else doing your ads, or if you do them yourself, is you'll notice that we use pictures of people looking straight at you and smiling. Statistically, those types of images are going to outperform a lot of other images that you might choose to use. So we generally want to have pictures of people looking straight at you and conveying a happy aura, right? A smile. Because the emotions that you put into your imagery in your ads, that gets transferred to whoever the viewer is. And so if you're making a person feel good, oftentimes they're more likely to interact with you. Now, there are certain situations, certain industries, certain businesses where making a person feel afraid is highly engaging. But that's not typically the case for the average business. So this is the way we structure these particular ads. Okay, so enough about that, but you start out with a traffic source. So in this case, the example is Facebook. That's going to be the source of traffic. And this particular ad is actually an on-platform lead generation ad. What that means is that when you click this ad, you do not get redirected to the client's landing page. Instead, it opens up the client's form. I'm not going to show you their full form. Some of that is confidential information, the way we structured it. But it opens up a lead generation form, and a person can fill that out right on Facebook. So this is called an on-platform lead generation method. Of course, we run other ads that go to the client's landing page. So here's a landing page example that I designed for this client. And I'll just scroll through it very quickly so you can see it, and then I'll go back up and talk a little bit about it, although this is not the purpose for this video. A conversion rate optimized landing page. You'll notice one of the first things is that there's no navigation, right? So when you build a landing page, that landing page by design, by definition, if it is a landing page, is intended to trigger a single specific action that you as the client or you as the business owner desires that person to take on that page. So in this case, the landing page is intended to get a person to fill out this form. So you strip out just about everything else that can distract from the person taking that one particular desired action, which is why there's not going to be a navigation menu, generally speaking, in landing pages. You do, however, include a logo that links back to the homepage of the normal website. That way you're not holding people hostage on your landing page. That's really important. You have other information in case you want to have alternative ways for people to contact you, and then you really get into the content of the landing page. And if you ever were to read this, I can tell you right now, the way the landing page is structured is talk about benefits, 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 and intersperse your primary call to action. Benefits, 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 FAQs, type of educational information, benefits, benefits, trust indicators, and call to action. So let's just quickly scroll through. Massive benefit, call to action. More benefits, a different type of representation of a benefit chart, a call to action. FAQ style information, trust indicators, more trust indicators in the form of testimonials, and a call to action. So you're generally going to have the call to action repeated 1 to 2 times. So it'll repeat it 1 to 2 times, meaning it's present 1 to 3 times on that particular page, or 2 to 3 times on that particular page. And then, of course, you notice that there's no navigation menu in the footer either. just the opportunity for people to contact them via alternative methods that are relevant to the particular client. So this is just quickly going over what a conversion rate optimized landing page might look like if I were to create one for your business. So we started out with the traffic source, which were external paid ads. Those paid ads can either be on-platform lead generation instruments, or they can link to a landing page, which also has a lead generation or lead capture method integrated there. When a person submits their information, when they fill out one of the forms, wherever that form may be, that information gets synced into a CRM. I'm going to show you a glimpse of this client's CRM in another window. Okay, so that information gets pushed into the client's CRM. You can see today is October 20th, 2021. Today is October 20th, 2021. And this client already has several leads rolling in for today. What is that, 5 leads today? And whatever, 7, 8, 9, I don't know. Lots of leads yesterday, so on and so forth. Every day, leads are rolling in for the client. And as I indicated, we've made this client 7 figures. And you can see here that I was able to get them 5,567 leads as of the time that I'm making this video. And these are high value leads. So this is not a person that's selling $20 t-shirts. Onboarding a client for this particular client, them onboarding a new foster parent is quite valuable for them. So imagine if you were a realtor, or if you sold medical equipment or industrial equipment, or if you're a doctor's or dentist office, or even if you are like a home staging or trash pickup company. If you're any company that has a high average client value, you can imagine that getting 5,500 leads would make you a millionaire pretty easily, which is the case for this particular client. But anyway, so when a person fills out one of the forms that I was showing you, whether on a platform or on the website, their data gets pushed into the CRM or your email software, depending upon what tech stack you're using in your business. And then after you're in the CRM, that should trigger a workflow rule. Now, workflow rule is terminology that this particular client's CRM uses. Your email campaign software or CRM may use a different term, but it's the same thing. What it means is there's an automated rule that triggers email sequences or syncs to and triggers your sales sequence in-house. So in this case, here's a simple workflow rule that says when a new lead comes in, if that new lead matches certain conditions or requirements, in this case, depending upon the lead source, if the lead comes from Facebook or from any other specific form that we've designated from the client's website, then it's going to trigger an automated email notification or email responder so that I go in and I fill out that form, I put my email and my name in there, then I automatically receive an email that delivers to me whatever was promised to me that prompted me to fill out that form. Or it just delivers information that leads me further into the client's funnel. Additionally, a separate email goes out to the lead owner, which may be you as the owner of the business, it may be a member of your sales team, that says, hey, there's a new lead that came in and you should follow up with them quickly, because if you're in sales, you know following up with leads quickly is a critical factor in how likely you are to get the conversion. So that's what a lead generation funnel looks like, and that's the standard that I would build if you hired me. So I'd go in and say, okay, we need to have a landing page. That landing page needs to have web forms integrated. Those web forms need to be integrated into a CRM or email management software. Once that's set up, we need to build out email templates. I don't want to open this client's email template because I don't want to reveal the content that I wrote for them. That's proprietary and confidential as a part of their sales process. But essentially, we created an email template, wrote the content for the client, and then that syncs actually to another piece of software that gives a series of automated emails as well that go into their sales process and warm the leads up to help them become paying customers. So after we set up that foundation, then we go and we create the paid ads, and those ads either drive on-platform leads straight into their funnel or drive traffic to their landing pages where the leads get the opportunity to then enter the funnel by filling out the form. So that's a good idea of what I would build for you if you were to hire me. I do want to briefly also show you another example of a Facebook ad, just to give you an idea of, because this ad right here is a little different than what I would do for you if you hired me when I first got started. I most likely run a slightly different type of ad, so let me show you that. Okay, so here, this is most likely the type of ad that I would run for a brand new client when they're just getting started. And there are several reasons for that. So you look at this and it probably looks really clean, professional, and simple to you. But there's a lot. Trust me, there's a lot happening here. that's just below the surface that you probably are not picking up on unless you're a marketer. This ad, by the way, is a multiple card ad. It's called a carousel ad in Facebook. What that means is, even though it's one ad, there's actually 5 different designs in this single ad. And the person, the user, when they see the ad, has the option to click through it or swipe through it to see each of the cards. There's a reason that I would likely run this type of ad for you when we first get started. Okay, so if you look at this ad, I said there's a lot going on beneath the surface, and it has a lot to do with the guidelines and rules that Facebook as a platform has for their advertisers. So you're looking and you just see, this looks good, it looks cute. But when you look at this, you'll notice that there's opacity reduction in the background. So you can slightly see through it, right? There's some transparency. You also notice that this design touches the edge of the card. And maybe you just think that's a design style or something of that nature, but no, we're actually doing it because we want to influence the way that Facebook's artificial intelligence or algorithms perceive this ad. So I don't know if you're aware, but essentially you are not allowed to have non-existent functionality in an advertisement. So if you're looking at it yourself, you can tell that this is just a banner that has text in it that's relevant to this particular card in this design. But Facebook's AI sometimes mistakes things for buttons. So here's the initial iteration of this ad, where this is not touching the edge, and this is actually perfectly fine. This is 100% within Facebook guidelines. But the AI sometimes mistakes this structure for a button. And if you design a button into your advertisements that isn't actually a button, it's called non-existent functionality. For example, if this was a video play button on a still image, that's non-existent functionality. It's a policy guideline violation, and your ads will get rejected. Now, we know you can go in with human review, and the human will say, okay, clearly this is not a button. But because this client's Facebook account and their business manager account were brand new, we never want to take the risk of getting an ad rejected with Facebook. Facebook is very fickle, and if they reject one of your ads, it tends to lead to future rejections, which can get your account banned. You may have experienced that, or you know someone who's experienced that. Facebook is very quick to ban your accounts, so you need to be very familiar with their guidelines, and you need to adhere to those guidelines. And sometimes, even if you are adhering, you need to go an extra step and say, wait a minute, I want to make sure that that algorithm, that AI does not think that this is a button. So we extend the design all the way to the edge, and we add transparency so that it's see-through and it's less likely to mistake it for a button. Lots of little things like that are happening in this design. For example, it's a picture of a woman. Well, there's an age and gender consideration, right? Because we're thinking about the target audience when we create the designs. So there's an age and gender consideration that's happening here. She's looking straight at us. She's smiling. She's conveying positive energy, which is very important. There's good color contrast. The messages are easy to read based on the color of the background and the color of the text. The fonts are professional. There's representation of the client's logo, which is also deliberate because subconsciously you want the viewer to be absorbing and becoming familiar with the client's brand, so on and so forth. So there's a lot happening here. But also, we start out in general with clients. I will start out with a carousel-based multi-image ad if it's applicable to the platform, because when I run the reporting later, I have the capacity to look and say, okay, let me go on this one. This was the first iteration. I have the capacity to look and say which cards outperformed, which images got the most engagement from the audience. And so what that does is it allows me to gain insights into, okay, is the audience most responsive to this color scheme or to another color scheme that I used in a different card? Is the audience more responsive to pictures of men, or is the audience more responsive to pictures of women, or is the audience more responsive to pictures of the product or service? Little things like this are not possible if you run a single image ad. And I want to have the capacity to collect multiple data points for you as quickly as possible, because we all know when you hire me, you're thinking, Jay, what can you get done for me yesterday? I don't want you in that mindset, but I know that generally speaking, clients start out in that mindset. And so we want to do the little things that we can to try and gather the data as quickly as reasonably possible so we can make adjustments, refine the campaigns, and increase the client's ROI. So I wanted you to see this particular ad design just to understand not just what a funnel is, but how we like to start out. When I create a campaign for you, I want an ad that gives me multiple data points, because most people don't necessarily know this if you're not a marketer, but real marketing is not in how beautiful your creatives are, right? Because a lot of people, they focus on, oh, how does it look? Is it pretty? Oh, did it match my brand colors? Is it sticking to my style guide, etc.? A lot of clients are really fixated on that. And I get it. I understand. I'm not knocking that. But the truth is, the data is where the money is. When you have the capacity to run reports, analyze and assess the data, understand the hidden story that's within that data, and then refine your campaigns based on that story, that's when you start making a ton of money from your marketing. It's actually one of the reasons that I tell clients, if you're in the short-term mindset, if you're like, Jay, what can you do for me in 30 days? I usually say, don't hire me. You need to be in a 3 to 6 month mindset if you really plan on winning the game. Like, have you ever seen those people who they need everything right now, and then a year later, they're still trying to get everything right now, and then 5 or 10 years later, they're still trying to get everything right now, and they never really step back and realize that the reason they don't have it right now is because they never played the long game. If 5 or 10 years earlier you said, I need everything in 1 year, I'm willing to commit, work my butt off, and iron out all the nuances for 1 year, those are the people that end up rich, right? Those are the people that end up successful. That client where I showed you their campaign and we made them, I made them over 7 figures, that didn't happen overnight. We had to work and analyze the data and refine the campaigns and learn the little nuances. What time of day are people most likely to engage? What day of the week are people most likely to engage? What gender is most likely to engage? What age brackets are most likely to engage? Where are these people located? What zip code or what city do people live in who are most likely to engage? What's their education level? What's their income bracket? There's so many variables that you want to figure out to piece your formula together, what I call a profitability formula, to piece your profitability formula together. And then once you figure that out, it's clean selling. But you don't figure that out in 30 days, right? You figure that out by running these ads, clearing the learning phase. Each time you start a campaign, you go into that 7-day learning phase, clearing the learning phase, letting the algorithm learn while you're also analyzing the data, pairing those two together, making new iterations, and getting more and more profitable, more and more effective as you go. Same thing with the downstream messages, right? It's not just the ads, but the messaging on the landing pages, the messaging in the automated email sequences. These things all come together to create profitability via a marketing funnel, whether it be e-commerce based sales funnels or B2B based lead generation funnels. So I just wanted to sort of quickly walk you through that and give you an idea of what to expect, both in terms of what I'll do in the website, what I'll do on the paid ads platforms, and what I'll do with your CRM or email marketing campaigns to pull it all together and help you become successful and profitable with your business. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And I really appreciate you taking the time to have watched this video. Thanks so much.